We're gonna hit you with the bars real quick. Hey, quarantine life, but my flow still sick. If I had a maid, I have a make you lemonade. And I don't need to get laid, so don't be afraid. Girl, I get paid, but I'm in pain. Kinda like Wayne, first name Bruce. Where the hell's that made with the goddamn juice? Every day's the same, deja vu. Bring in the wine, yeah, bring in the Zan. Pump up my songs, yeah, let's do a dance. You the kind of girl that made me cancel my plans. You the only girl I let her pay for OnlyFans. Driving.
Suicide logs. I am busy, more busy than I already have been. I had that brilliant idea of posting this podcast or looking for comics, and now I've been bombarded with a bunch of comedians all throughout the Bay Area, and I think maybe even like Sacramento area. Sacramento's not the Bay, they're their own thing, whatever. And I think I've got at least 10 comedians on standby, and we're about to do number 1 right now. It wasn't favorites or anything. It wasn't like, oh, we're putting... Well, the people who are hitting, it's a first come, first serve basis. And I need to get my fucking phone to shut the fuck up so I can record an episode. And so, yeah, it's just all with availability and whatever, and who comes, you know, we're doing it. And so, hold on, I dropped a puzzle piece because I have a puzzle piece on my podcast desk. They're a whole 300-piece puzzle. That's how unorganized I am. Because I like the style. I like the style where this is at. And the first comedian who's up for this long season, I don't know what this is going to be. I feel like it's just enough guests to the point where it's going to be a while until I do a solo episode. So I'm just going to knock all of these requests out. And then we'll do a solo episode, and maybe we'll reflect or whatever. So we're 30 minutes late, fashionable Filipino time, but I already called this guy. He's expecting the call. It's Jordan Kirchner, who I'm glad is on because I've met him. He's one of the most active. Did my voice just fucking crack? Let's take a drink of water. I'm not ready for this. I think he's done some acting. He's one of the most active comedians that are on this lineup. So we got a couple of people who I've never met. We've got a couple of people who I've met. So without further ado, somebody who I've met, Jordan Kirchner. Let's give him a call. How about it? For everybody, give a hand for Jordan Kirchner. We're giving him a call. How does?
Yo.
Good evening.
What up with it, dog?
What's up, man? We're live. And when I'm saying live, just recording, I'm recording. So if you accidentally, say you're social or something, just let me know, and then I'll edit it out. I'll send it to my editor.
I'm always worried about saying my social because it also includes the N-word in my social, so it's always hard to say.
I hate it when that happens.
The government fucked me, dude.
What's up, man? I just gave a little introduction. A little bit. All I really mentioned is that you're one of the most active comedians that I know of, and I've met you. I feel like I'm gonna get some comedians on sometime soon who I've never met. So it feels good to kind of, I don't know. You saw it. It got kind of popular on Bacon. I feel like I've got like 10 people booked, and
yeah,
it feels like because you've been at the show that I've been to, America's Next Top Comedian. Or
yeah,
AMTC.
Monica's, right? Or at Monica's?
Yes, sir. So far. Who knows? Yeah. And I've been doing it about 9 months. And I think this is the 9th month or something. And this will be the first month that I don't think I'm going to do it this month.
Has it got slow or?
That, and there was something that happened, I believe, that affected the hour. So we would go until 9. The shows that I think you've been to like 3 or 2 of them or something like that. So
I've been to at least 4.
Oh shit. Okay. Thank you for your service. So basically, you've been on the podcast before. If there's somebody who's like a hardcore listener, they probably heard your set. that I've put up here.
Those poor listeners.
You've done pretty good for the most part from what I remember. I remember your first night. You did pretty good. Like, I don't think you, and if you ever had a quote unquote bad set, it's probably not you. It's just the fact that there was nobody
bad
there.
From like my own opinion.
Yeah. Or just bad that like nobody was there, you know?
Yeah, well, I got to be the first one to say my set's bad, because if someone else does it before me, I'm like, shit. I look delusional. I should have said it first.
What do you give yourself as a rating of a comedian? Do you think you're horrible? Do you think you're pretty good? Do you think you're average?
I think
honest.
I'm good. I think I'm good, but I don't think I'm where I want to be.
And where do you want to be?
I want damn near every other line that comes out of my mouth to get some laughter or some sort of reaction.
Yeah.
I want everything to be somewhat of like, because I try to, I like with my jokes, the way I write them is like, it starts with like a, base premise. And then throughout that premise, I just add in like taglines, like every other word, or like every other sentence, or at least every sentence. And I just try to see or hope that those taglines land every time. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes I'm just talking and then I get maybe a laugh at that joke.
But the point is that everything you say is a joke. And it's like there's something in there to kind of chuckle at. You know what I mean?
Sometimes a lot of it's not even like the wording. It's just like my delivery. I feel like if you read my jokes on paper, it just looks like a manifesto.
Okay.
Like it's not, if anything, it looks like just like a diary of a sad person. But like, it's all like a lot of my jokes are just like, it's all based off, I guess, delivery and the way I say it. And then obviously I do have like actual, punchlines and tags in there. But like, I do feel like reading it on paper is not even funny.
Have you seen the movie The Joker?
Yeah, of course.
The 2019 one? Dude, I rewatched that last night. And I've only watched it one time in theaters. But the one time I watched it, I was like, oh, dude, this is a really good movie. But I'm also the kind of guy, I don't like to rewatch movies. So because I'm like,
really?
I'm overconfident in my memory that I'll remember the whole thing. Or at least, the premise. But last night, I was like, you know what? There's maybe, it's been 4 years because I watched it in theaters last. And there's probably something I missed. And I had the luxury of watching it on, Amazon Prime. So I could, pause it and shit. And there was a part where he pulled out, and you talking about, reading jokes and stuff is what made me think of this. There's a part in the movie where he pulls out a list of his jokes, or I remember he goes to a comedy club and he's taking notes, and some of the notes sexy humor is always good and just dumb shit like that. Yeah. But there's a scene where he's looking at it, but it's a page full of notes, but there's one that's it's really bold and big. So if it's your first time, you only have a limited amount of time to read it all. You read the big bold thing, and the big bold thing was just kind of I just hope my life makes sense when I'm dead, and sense is in money or whatever. So it made me think of oh, maybe he wants his death to make money, kind of like how these new rappers or whatever, people get more popular when they die. But anyway, I paused it. I paused it because I was like, let's read the whole thing. I fucking backed up and paused it. And the top of it, there was some good jokes. One of them was, why was the homeless man crazy? And it's he didn't have any sense, sense, C-E-N-T. And I was like, that's good.
Double meaning.
Yeah. And then there was another one. It's just dumb little jokes. But I was like, those are good. If I went to an open mic and somebody said that, and it's oh, you really came up with that? You really wrote that and you didn't fucking Google it? I'll give it to you. That's fucking good, creative, whatever. But sometimes it doesn't matter how good they gotta be really fucking good. If you have, a whole set that's just full of you're reading jokes, it's something's missing.
Or you mean one-liners, really set up punch jokes?
Yeah, or kind of what you said, if you were to read your joke on a piece of paper, it would look like a manifesto. So it's
it's just not funny.
Yeah, I kind of catch myself if I'm just having having a bad time, or I just know it's not going well or something, I feel it. I feel like, oh, dude, it just totally sounds like I'm reading right now or something.
Yeah, or that, or like it's worse when you have like a joke that's like based around something bad that happened in your life. Because like I have a lot of jokes like that where it's like it's just me turning something that, you know, bad that happened to me in life, and I just like turn it into a joke. And it's like if that joke bombs, it just sounds sad. Like as you're up there. Like I used to have a joke about I don't do it anymore because it mostly just ended up sounding sad half the time. It was like about this girl that I dated that I worked with her, and it was like, you know, it was she broke up with me because she told me like she didn't have time, you know, which is fine. But like 2 weeks later, she ended up finding time for my boss. And then 2 weeks after that, she found more time for another coworker. Oh, wow. So basically, it was and it was like a whole thing about like how my
this is a true story.
My boss and my coworker, and then like I say something like the only part that would sometimes get laughs is like, and I know what you guys are thinking, we're not hiring, and it was just like it was so dumb. But like the times that joke bombed, it was just people would be like, oh, that's sad, dude. Like your girlfriend, like fuck your boss. I'm like, yeah, dude.
Did that really happen?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So I have a true story that it's like a kind of like a newer joke, but it's becoming a regular in my shit. And it's like it's people. I don't know. The reason why I keep it is because it works a lot. Like it's got a high percentage like landing rate.
Yeah.
And I never really thought it, like, it's so new. I was just telling somebody it, like, online, like, just talking just like how we're talking right now. And they were like, dude, are you, like, doing a bit or something like that? I was like, no, this really fucking happened. And just today, I was just thinking about, like, man, it's kind of crazy. Like, I guess that is silly, like, because it's a true story. And I never really thought about it because it's something that happened, like, the 6th or 7th grade. And I just, I don't know, I just went my whole life thinking, like, I don't know, I fucking did that. But, it really happened. It's I don't know if you've heard my I used to worship the devil joke. Have you ever heard that one?
I don't know. I might have. I don't have the best memory.
I did it. I opened up for it, but I feel like comedians, like, they do so many shows, and I just mentioned earlier, you're like one of the most active comedians that I know. So I feel like things just kind of like,
dude.
Yeah, people. Yeah, you like, not to be rude, but sometimes I do see you, and I'm like, bro, you look tired. Like, there was this one specific time I seen you at Epidemic Ales, and it was, like, just a couple of nights after I saw you at Monica's. It was like, you had, like, black eyes. I don't know if you were in a fight, but it looked like
no, dude, sleeping. That's when I'm exhausted. I already have, like, these, like, kind of, like, sunken-in eyes. It's, like, my German roots, I guess. But, yeah, no, dude, when I'm, like, tired, like, it looks like I have two black eyes. And, yeah, dude, I'm constantly exhausted. I probably go out, like, at minimum, lately, about 6 days a week. I think tonight's my first night I've had off in about a week or two. And I'm doing a podcast with you. So
yeah.
And then you know, I work full time, so I'm just like I'll leave my house at like 8 a.m. and not get home till 1, and then I just rinse and repeat the next day.
When was the last? Wait, have you ever been on a podcast before?
Yeah.
Like, does it feel like the same thing? I guess it kind of depends. I feel like a podcast.
I don't think it feels like the same thing. I think it depends. Like if this was in person, like then that would be like, all right, like I'm not taking the night off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you got to go.
It's like, oh, like I drove to you, or vice versa. Like we met up somewhere.
And
that would be like not taking a night off. This one right now, it's like I'm sitting in my garage. This is basically a phone call. I'm basically catching up with the homie.
Yeah. No, because that's the thing. Because I've got the time right here. We've done 13 and a half minutes. So think of, like, you know, some of the nights. And I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm guessing if you're out until 1 a.m., a lot of it is really just traveling. You know, like
that's the majority of it, dude.
And not much of it is actually the performance part of it. There's a lot that just goes into just even getting up there for that little amount of time.
It's literally like, because I mean, I mostly do stand up in Sacramento now. Although I've been the last few weeks I've been mixing it up a little bit, going out to the Bay again. I'm trying to mix it up, like do Sac and the Bay. But yeah, so like Sacramento for me, that's like an hour-long drive, give or take. And then it's really, I go out there and I always get there early. I end up hanging out for, you know, let's say at minimum 30 minutes. That's a minimum. the maximum is probably like 3 hours, but I'll drive out there, and then it's all that for like 5 to 10 minutes of stage time, and then it's like I'm really just there for the hang, and then like marketing, or not marketing, networking. Like it's really, that's all it is. It's just going out and talking to people, hanging out, and then you get to do some stage time. Except lately, dude, if you go to like SAC, you can hit like 3 mics in one night most days.
Wow, 3 mics in one night. I've only been to SAC once, I think. And
Get out there, dude. It's a great scene. Yeah, dude. So that's like, I mean, I live in Rio Vista, so that's like 20 minutes. Just let me know, dude. You can just carpool with me, park in front of my house.
Yeah, that would be a good idea.
I always like to offer people that, because why not? Like, if I'm heading out there and you're trying to head out there, just let me know. If I'm at home, I can take you. You know?
Yeah, the way how you feel about how you've been hitting SAC more, I feel like I've been hitting the Bay more. But
yeah.
I don't know. I guess I kind of think of it as like I'll get there when I get there. If that, because for me, I guess because you've been doing it for what, since like 2017, so like
2018.
Oh, okay. So
yeah,
5 years. Yeah, 5 years. See, I
started on National Women's Day, 2018. I only know that because I had one shitty joke. Or sorry, I had 2 shitty jokes. I did like a minute and a half, maybe less than that. Literally just went up there and was like, hey, it's National Women's Day, so we should give all women 75% less time than men tonight. So stupid. I was like, I had that joke, and then I said, like, everyone in here is a lot older than me. How does it feel knowing you're going to die before me? Like, there's such bad jokes. I was like, all right, that's my time. Good night.
Jeez.
Dude, I don't think I had like an established set till I was like 3 or 4 months in. And even then, that wasn't even established. It was just the first time I had jokes. But yeah, sorry, I got off track there.
A lot happened. I got distracted. Somebody fucking called me and it was important, but I let him go to voicemail, so I got kind of lost. All I remember, the last thing I said was I've been about a year and some change in. And then you're talking about 5 years, and then you started talking about when you just went up there and fucking just riffed on people. You're like, old people, huh? You're gonna fucking die.
Yeah, and it was like maybe a minute. No laughter.
Just a minute. Damn.
Yeah.
Every time I see old people, my go-to thing to say is like, you guys look like you've got 401ks, and that usually seems to somewhat work. But I don't know.
I like to tell them that this is a young crowd. And then I'll just continue my set after that. You know, make them feel good. I realized old white women typically don't like me. I don't know why.
What do you think likes you the most?
Who do I think likes me the most?
Yeah. Like what genre of people?
Honestly, I think it's just people my age.
People. And how old are you again?
I'm 28.
Okay, we're the same age. I'm 28 as well.
Well, okay, I don't want to sound like a liar. I turned 28 in like a week and a half, so I'm just gonna say that. I don't want to.
I turned 29 in a month, so
yeah.
Around the same. I'm like a year older or whatever. Yeah, basically.
The only reason I had to correct myself, like, what if like one person I know is listening and they're like, "You're a fucking liar, dude. You're 27, you lying sack of whore."
What other podcasts have you done? Have you like? Dude, I feel like I know more about you than you think. I told remember that one, the first time I met you, I was like, this guy's a veteran, and then you're like, I didn't know I did not even mean that. What I meant to say is like veteran of comedy, because you've been doing it like 5 years, and then I like double checked or whatever. I was like, oh shit, this whole time you probably thought that, so I had to.
I did, yeah. I thought you were talking about the Marines.
I did my fucking research.
I don't like consider myself a veteran. Like, you know, I've been doing it 5 years, but I'm still like an open micer. I feel like, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of dudes. They're like 10, 15 years in, and then they're still, you know, they still do open mics and stuff too. I guess they're veterans, but yeah, I don't consider myself that yet.
Would you say you're a white belt?
I'd say, yeah. I think that's a good way to say. I'd say until like I at least start like, if I like once I get like passed at a club, that's when I'll consider myself a little bit more than what I am right now. Which I don't even know if that would make me a veteran yet. I think that's just like,
did you say passed at a club?
Yeah.
I think you guys were talking about that when I was with you.
Yeah, I'm trying to get passed at Laughs Unlimited. I'm hoping to. I know I'm hosting it next month.
So what exactly does that mean to get passed?
That basically means like you can now get booked to like host weekends. Like you're now like a paid comic of the club.
Okay.
I guess that's the best way I could explain it. And that's
It's
what I'm trying
like
to get. So that's why I go to Laps Unlimited a lot, just trying to get in front of the owner, Jenny. Amazing woman. If you're listening to this, Jenny, I love you. I'm trying to get like past there.
Is she always there?
No, this week last week she wasn't, but for the most part, yeah, she is always there. Yeah. So it's like you just gotta like I know like at Alameda Comedy Club like Colin Casados is like passed there. I think Jamar, a bunch of people are passed over there. And that's just you get in front of the owner enough to where they like you, they think you're funny, and then they bring you in.
Oh, that just that just reminds me. Earlier today, I got an email from the owner, Patrick Ford, of my clip of me at their open mic, and
Not good? Not good or what?
It was good. It was good. I bought it because I thought it was good, but like to me, I hit him with the classics. I hit him with the joke that I was telling you about, and I'll tell you it in a little bit if you want to hear it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just hit him with the classics, just like everything that I know works. And it like I did like my jujitsu joke, and like that one is like punched up to where there's like 5 opportunities to be like, oh, I get it, or some shit.
Yeah.
And like they just fucking cackled at fucking everything. And so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get that. So I was thinking to me, I think it's funny, but I want a second opinion. I just want to hear an opinion of it. Is it funny or is it disrespectful? That I just wanted to post that whole set and just come out and be like, yeah, guys, just put up my first stand-up comedy special. It's available on YouTube, and then just like in the description, just say it's an open mic and all that stuff, but just keep promoting it like it's a special. Like, guys, check out my special.
I mean, the only problem I'd see with it is there's going to be people who don't understand that you're doing that as a joke, and they're like, this guy's fucking delusional.
Yeah, I guess, but like them thinking that is what makes me laugh. I don't know.
Okay, yeah, that's fine then. Yeah, if you like the idea, if you're just trolling them and you like that, fuck yeah, dude, do it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like
if I saw it, I would sense the sarcasm out of it, and I'd be like, okay, he's just fucking around.
Yeah. It's a good set, though. It's a good set.
Hey, that's all that matters. Dude, I've had one good set at Alameda Comedy Club, every other time, actually, okay, scratch that. I've had 2 good sets there, but every other time I've been there, dude, I don't know what it is. I bomb. Like, I don't know what it is. Just
it's a lot of old white ladies there. It's a lot of old
that must be it, dude.
And you say they don't like you, so we're figuring something out, man.
I have no idea why. I don't do good at that club. Like, I've done good there at least twice, and even then, like, those good sets weren't great sets, you know? Like, they were like, they don't hate me. Yeah. That's good.
What was it? I guess just going back to the whole like posting it as like saying it's a special. I feel like you can catch that I'm being sarcastic when I say it's an open mic. Also, I just feel like there's a lot of people who aren't comedians that don't understand comedy and what, like, dude, I didn't know until like a year ago that when people shoot a stand-up special, it's shot multiple times. Like, I just found that out last year, and like I'm watching something with my girl. I think it was Andrew Schultz, and like I guess he's like known for crowd work, so he's doing a lot of crowd work or whatever. And my girl's like, look, the crowd is different. Like there was like that lady wearing purple over there, and now it's a different set of people. And I was like, oh shit. And then we like Googled it and like looked at it, was like, holy shit, people wear the same outfits and everything. Like, this is where it becomes very theatery. This is where it starts getting kind of I don't know.
A lot of them, they'll record like, maybe 3 different shows, 4 different shows, and then they will pick like the best clips from every single one.
I guess so.
Because I mean, imagine like, and doing an entire hour of crowd work, not everything is going to land. So that's why he has to record that multiple times and doing different crowd work with different crowds, because
I guess
he's going to have to choose the ones that land.
You know what it is, man? It's kind of like a real laugh track, because you say a joke, but it doesn't land, and you don't get that big ha ha, and like somebody's gonna watch that and be like, You know, they need that ha ha to help. It's like psychologically burned into your fucking cornea from watching sitcoms and shit. You need them training wheels. Because for me, how I see it, like the inner traditional comic, like the set that I said that I thought was good, there was actually some parts where I was like, fuck, I left out this detail. And I'm picky.
Yeah,
I'm
dude, that
picky
gets me
about it.
too.
But then I'm like, bro, who the fuck cares? Like, I'm just like, or maybe like I said something, but I didn't say it loud enough, and people like it just doesn't feel like, oh, I didn't deliver it right or whatever. I'm like, a part of me is kind of like, oh, I gotta fix that, the perfectionist. But then another part of me is like, look, you get it, you know?
Yeah, no, I've been told, because I know I deal with that same thing where I'm like, I have a bunch of clips where like the set went well, but I said something wrong,
right?
Or I missed a thing. I accidentally like passed over, you know, tagline, punchline, whatever it is, and then I don't want to post it because I'm like, no, I want to post the joke finished. And I've been told by a lot of people, post it anyways because you could always repost the joke again when it's like perfected.
Yeah.
And I guess, I guess that's fine because, you know, like someone, I forget who, I think it might have been like Zach Lord or something. Like he told me, he's like, yeah, people, they're not going to, they either won't remember that you already posted that joke or they won't care. Because you got to remember, there's always going to be other people who haven't seen that joke yet. So you're working to them. You know, honestly, that might not have been Zach Lord that said that to me. It might have been just some fucking guy.
Do you,
it was just my uncle. Like, he's like, hey, dude.
It's fucking me. Do you know, you know who Jethro Yee is?
Yeah, I love Jethro.
So I had him on the podcast earlier, and we kind of had a discussion about like posting things online or like saving a joke or something. Like the fear. I think his argument was like the fear of ruining it, because I guess not. Yeah, there's a few comedians. There's a few comedians that's like they're very prideful and like, no, you gotta come see me to say this joke. And then there's some people who are kind of like, they'll put anything up. Like they'll put like parts of their bit up, just trying to make a reel or whatever. But
yeah, I think that's fine to do.
Yeah,
I think what I don't like is I've seen a lot of like comics in like our scene where it's not that I don't like it. I just think like, dude, you should have posted that one. Is like people will post like a clip of them bombing at an open mic, and they're just doing it because they want to put out some sort of content.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, like, just wait. Like, work on your craft before you like push out content that's not good. Because once you have that idea, like, oh, this comic's not good, it's going to be hard to change that idea for a lot of people. They're like, I'm not going to watch this clip. Like, the other ones suck. Why would I watch this one?
I never thought of that. So I guess a part of me is the curiosity. Like if I feel like I have a habit of watching constant trash because I'm like curious if they're getting better. And it's like some of them.
I guess that's a demographic too.
I guess my argument with Jethro with not posting things, like I guess I'm not sure, but right now I feel like I'm leaning towards no, just post it, because I think I was worried about somebody stealing jokes or some shit. But to me, how I think of it is like it's a receipt, you know, like if you put something up, even if it wasn't like the best joke or whatever, like or something that you're working on, you fucking have it like right there. You have the receipts that you were the first one to touch up on whatever.
Yeah.
I have this joke that I haven't it's probably like almost a year old or something like that, and I kind of let it go because I was just tired of it, or I didn't really, I don't know, you get tired of shit, so you want to change it. And then I had a lot of people that are like, how come you don't say this joke anymore? Like, how come you don't say this? And then I started bringing it up again recently, and everybody thinks it's a new fucking joke. And like, I don't know. It's just, I mean, it's weird. Like sometimes that's where it just feels like work. You know, maybe like once upon a time you enjoyed it or whatever, but then now it's just kind of like, I don't know. But I guess that's kind of like later down the line, that's a freedom that some comedians get as opposed to like a musical artist where they're like, we want to hear fucking Wait and Bleed again or some shit, you know? And it's just,
Play Freebird, fucking.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, shit, I lost my train of thought. What I was going to say with that.
Oh, my bad. I went off on a tangent
on you,
a little
dude.
bit.
I was listening to you, and I was just like, I forgot what I was going to say along with it.
Do you?
But yeah, no, with content, dude, it's just I think it's just you don't gotta force it. You just post it when you think it's ready.
Yeah.
Like I hear a lot of people, they're just like, oh, dude, you just gotta put out content. That's what it's all about. You know, we're in a day and age where you're your own manager. You got to put out your own stuff, and that is all 100% true. But also, you got to just wait until you think you're ready. You know.
Right.
You know, like right now, like what you said, you're a year and a half in. I'm 5 years in. If I don't feel like I'm ready to just start pushing out a bunch of stand-up clips, if you don't feel like you're ready, that's fine too. But if you feel like you're ready, then do it.
Yeah, it's kind of like if you're
I
a
put
rapper.
out clips very sparingly, and I've only really put out clips of like throwaway jokes, like jokes that don't actually fit into like the rest of my set.
I guess I don't really have a care about what I'm gonna do future. Maybe I worry a little bit of like, oh, am I doing too much or whatever? But dude, not doing anything it can sometimes be cool. Like, would you want to be like the Frank Ocean of comedy? You know, like
what do you mean? Well, I don't know. I don't even know what the Frank Ocean of music is like.
You don't know?
I mean, I know his music, but
okay. So you know who Frank Ocean? Because Frank Ocean's like notoriously known for just like not dropping music. You know, the last album he dropped was like 6 years ago. So it's like I don't know, dude. Like, what if you just
I think Frank Ocean's in a place where he can do that. You know, he's already famous. He already has a big portfolio.
I've seen some pictures of him just like wearing scrubs. I think, like, not saying that he needs the money, but I think he just lives life because like he's not doing music, so he's. I mean, maybe he has money, sure, and all of that, but I don't know. People could be kind of broke and just still live their life, if that makes sense. I feel like that they're going into a completely different topic, but I'm just
they could be making a lot of money but still living broke. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you know, I mean, music takes a lot of time up. Maybe it's just because I feel like if you were really that like hungry artist or whatever, and you're like, I gotta put shit out, maybe I don't know, because maybe he'd want to be bigger. Like, how big is Frank Ocean really? Like, is he just smart with his money? I don't know. Pocket watching this motherfucker, but yeah, the Frank Ocean of comedy. Like, you just like, say you get past at Laughs Unlimited, and then you become a favorite. Like, people really like you, but a big part of the reason why they like you is because you're not there all the time. You know what I mean? Like, what if there's a family that fucking loves Laughs Unlimited? They're there every weekend, and every weekend Jordan Kirchner's headlining or Jordan Kirchner's hosting for the night, and it's the third time they've heard you talk about getting your vitamins tested or something like that. And
are you referencing my actual joke about my
I like that joke. That joke stuck with me, and I remember complimenting you when I first heard it, and that's kind of what has always stuck with me. But after,
I do love that joke.
Yeah, after knowing you for a while though, I'm like, bro, this is his. He says this all the time, so it doesn't hit the same for me. So now I just get into I start trying to get into the psychology of what you think about it, and it's good to hear that you love that joke.
I do love that joke. I haven't said it too much lately. The last like maybe like 2 months. But the only reason for that is because I don't really at this moment I don't have anything to add to it. So I've been working on like other new bits lately. Like I have this whole bit I'm working on about fighting that's been doing fairly well, and then I have this other bit about like this girl that has to be in an open relationship, and I'm just like, those are the bits I'm working on right now. So I have laid off the vitals a little bit, but that is still one of my favorite jokes because it's so silly. It's just a silly joke, you know?
Yeah.
Just being a silly goof.
Just
being a silly little dude, you know?
And it's like, because I've seen it bomb sometimes, but to me it's still funny, like, because I don't care.
Dude, when it bombs, because it has, like, that joke relies on me pausing. And so when it bombs and I'm still in a pause, I'm like, fuck, dude.
Well, some people, like, it's just, sometimes it's funny when people don't get it. Oh my God, dude. One time I was at fucking, I was at Jethro's mic, World of Beer. Was it? And somebody said something dirty. Like, what comedian was it? Somebody said something dirty, and I'm trying to think who the fuck it was, but I just look into the crowd and I see this older Mexican lady just make the biggest frown and concerned face at it, and I just start cackling at somebody's reaction. So it's like when the energy drink joke kind of bombs, I'm laughing at how fucking dumb these people are that it went over their head. You like when somebody's
just the vitamin B12
Yeah, yeah, I feel really fast. That one, that like when you say
I'm like,
that,
yeah,
because
really
I
fast.
get it, and that's enough for me to like. I would not like like if somebody hears that joke and they kind of go, "Huh?" I'm like, "Oh, you're an idiot," and that's what makes me laugh at them. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Dude, yeah. No, there's a part of that joke too where what is it, like I'd say like my doctor, said that my vitals came back perfect, and then I like pause and do this like little like like thing where it's like I'm like complimented by that or whatever.
Yeah, I'll stop it or something. Yeah.
Yeah. I pause for like 10 seconds and I'm like doing like a cute little fucking like hand twirl, like putting my dimples out and shit. And like when that doesn't bomb, dude, I'm like, dude, I just looked gay. That's all that just happened right there. Like, you guys are supposed to laugh, dude.
I remember you told me a story about you drove all the way to Reno to headline a place for 20 minutes or something, and it was like really horrible, and it was like a really bad drive.
Terrible. Yeah, I'll tell that story. I told that on Mark Maples' podcast too, but I'll tell it again. And yeah, no, I got booked to do was it 2 shows out in Reno where I was headlining them, and I'll just tell one of the stories because it's not an insult on that booker, but the other one would be. So the one where I was like, we had a packed room, like like the audience was fucking packed, dude. And so I'm thinking like, this is great.
Yeah.
Like, sick, dude. I got a packed room. I'm about to kill it.
They're all mine.
Every comic that, dude. Every comic that went up before me, except for one guy, pretty much bombed. Like they all had like bad sets, like low energy crowd. And then I was like, fuck, dude, like, I'm not going to, this is now I'm going to do bad. And I go up there, dude, and for 30 minutes straight, I got crickets. Like, it was, dude, I was defeated. Like, I felt like I was just in the octagon, just getting choked out for a half hour. Like, it was not fun. I remember at one point, this is the first time, and I'm hoping the last time this has ever happened to me, where I got so, like, just nervous, like, and anxious up there, where there was one guy in the front row that had like the most like stoic, like just expressionless face. And I just looked at him, locked eyes and said, "Hey, fuck you, man."
Holy shit.
I don't know why I said it. And I know for a fact it wasn't to get laughs. I just said it, dude. And I was like, oh, I can't be doing that. Like that. And oh, dude, I lost the crowd even more right there. And then as soon as I finished my set, I had work the next day at 5 a.m. God. So I had to, basically, I think the show ended at like 11, give or take. So I had to leave at like around 11. I got home like, I don't know, 2 in the morning. Actually, no, I didn't even go home that night. I just drove straight to the parking lot and slept in the parking lot where I was going to be working that day. So I lost sleep. I had a terrible set.
Did you get paid?
And I told some guy to fuck you. So, dude, that was a bad show for me.
Did you get paid?
Thanks, dude. It was fun. The way I see it is it was a learning experience.
Yeah, all right. Did you get paid for it?
Yeah, I think I got paid like $50 or something like that. Nothing crazy.
I want to circle back to something. You said you were a white belt, but I mean, for satire purposes, just to be funny, I want to always think of myself as a white belt. I don't care what's happening. I just want to be the white belt. But if it's jiu-jitsu, I feel like if you were to like if we were to give you a belt comedy wise and we're doing like jiu-jitsu rules, I feel like you're a blue belt. Because first of all,
how do the colors go? What is it? White, yellow?
So that's like karate and shit. So for jiu-jitsu,
yeah, I did karate. That's why I know that.
I did a little too. For jiu-jitsu, it's only like 5 belts. So it's white, blue, purple, brown, black. Excuse me, 4. Well, you could get like coral or something, but that's like, that's a masters or some shit if you're a fucking club owner. Who's that? Patty Late or whatever, you're just like, you're the boss, you make the rules. But yeah, there's really only 4, and I think
just walking around with a coral belt.
Yeah.
Dude, that's kind of
I think you're a blue belt. I think you're a blue belt because you've been doing it for a long time. I feel like you have an understanding of it, and you've done things like you've done to maybe. I mean, that's just how I see it. But maybe getting passed at a club would be your version of a blue belt. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd say if anything, I'd give if we're talking karate, I'd be like a white belt with a yellow stripe. Is that a
No,
thing?
because well, with
think that's a
karate,
thing.
there's so many belts. With karate, I mean, I don't know about like hardcore traditional ass karate, but like American karate, they have this thing called McDojos. I don't know if you know what like a McDojo is.
Is that like sponsored by McDonald's?
A McDojo. Are you playing like you really don't know what a McDojo is as
No,
opposed
dude.
to like
I did karate when I was like 4, and I cheated to get to purple belt.
How do you cheat at
Basically,
4?
my sister gave me her purple belt, and I
That's
just
it.
started going to
And-
practice with it on.
That's hilarious. That's probably McDojo, and nobody noticed, huh? Nobody noticed.
No one gave a shit, dude. Like,
That's
I was
hilarious.
like, I'm always just sort of like a passerby. Like I'm good at hiding in corners. You know, like people won't notice I'm there.
That's hilarious, dude. Fucking Okay, so a McDojo is basically they're just selling you bullshit. It's super expensive. It caters to like kids and maybe old people, and it's really money oriented rather than it really is like traditional martial arts or more into fighting. This is
Yeah,
like
it's probably not really too much sparring. It's probably just like kind of
it's
going
just
over
dances.
movements like without even like a person.
Yeah, pretty
No
much.
uki.
They want it to be safe. They want people to spend money. They want people to come. They don't, because if you train somebody like a
I'll make you
fucking
come.
Marine, you you train somebody like a fucking Marine, they're gonna be like, no, thanks, I'll take my money and take a nap. But like if you
Yeah.
have activities and little shits like that, so there's like 15 belts when it comes to like a McDojo, because more belts equals more money, because you could charge people to test for their belt. Jiu-jitsu,
Oh, that's
like
true, yeah.
tradition. Well, actually, jiu-jitsu classes nowadays, they're starting to incorporate like colored belt systems for the children, which is just money. So the more belts, the more of a kind of a scam it might look like. For anyone who's listening, if you go to a martial arts gym and you see fucking 40 belts on the walls, like you see the fucking rainbow, that's a red flag. Depends on what you're into, but yeah, okay.
If the belts make up the LGBT flag.
Yeah,
You're probably
exactly.
gonna lose money.
There are some belts, dude, that it's like, this is a white belt with a yellow stripe down through the middle, and you have to get 15 electrical tapes around it for you to move up to the half yellow belt. I think if we're going those rules, you're like a green belt, maybe a purple belt, something like that. I don't know.
Dick, dude. Imagine spending all that money and then still getting your ass kicked.
Oh, I've seen it happen.
they take the position, like they get in the stance and they just get
Like a
rocked.
fucking horse stance, dude.
Dude, like, I'm a freaking
Dude,
I'm a
I'm
purple
actually-
belt in karate, dude. I'll kick your ass. That
I'm
guy's
actually
like,
waiting
dude,
for that to happen.
I'm just angry, so I'll fuck you up.
Yeah. I'm waiting for that to happen in the UFC. I'm waiting for somebody to just like, I don't know, find a great way to just sneak some steroids in or whatever and just
Cheat your
like,
way to the top and then get your ass beat.
steal their sister's fucking estrogen or something like
Dude,
that.
I'll be the first to do it. I'll do it. I don't care. Fucking.
And they know no
It's all about
technique, but
exposure,
they just win like all the time. Like just like, I don't know. Then people are gonna start thinking the shit's rigged. I don't fucking know.
I feel like people already, like, every time, like, the person that they don't want to win wins, they're like, that fight was rigged.
Yeah.
Like, every time.
There's a little
And I'm like, probably not. I just think that maybe, hear me out, the other guy just didn't win. Like, I don't,
It's a gamble.
it's a fucking gamble, dude. You could be the best fighter, and, you know, that guy might still knock you out. It might happen. He might choke you out.
You might have an off day. You might have had
Everyone
a
has
terrible
off days, dude.
20-minute headlining set 3 hours before your fight.
Exactly,
Just not
dude. Yeah,
right.
dude. That would suck. Imagine like if Brendan Schaub is still fighting, like he's getting like eaten up all over fucking Reddit, like and people are just talking shit. He's gotta go fight, get his ass beat. And he's like, "This sucks, dude. My life sucks."
Or he fucking, what if he comes back and becomes a champion and everybody, that would be the craziest story ever. About like, remember at one time everybody was clowning Brendan Schaub and now he just put Francis Ngannou down? Really?
Man, remember when he was a really famous comedian that wasn't funny?
Yeah,
That was
dude,
crazy,
oh my
dude.
God. I don't know if I've ever said this on my show, but I think, because it's like a running joke on how horrible Gringo Poppy is and stuff like that.
Is that Drake?
Gringo Poppy's fucking Brendan Schaub's special that everybody's
Oh yeah. But shit. What's Drake's Instagram handle? Doesn't it
Champagne
something
Poppy. Champagne Poppy.
That's what I was thinking. Drake. Yeah, that's right. I forgot that was the name of his special.
And it took me a while to actually finish the whole thing. I'll say that, but I think it wasn't that okay. It was bad, but it wasn't like bad enough to where everybody's making fun of it for how it is. I feel like it's just kind of a thing to pick on that sucks. Kind of like how everybody's like Nickelback sucks. You know, I feel like people kind of do.
I can agree with that. I think because I did watch that special, or at least some of it. I remember a lot of the jokes were just like. It was like it's something that you would hear at like your local dive bar now. Like it'd be like it's like there were a lot of them were like open mic type material, but I think also like he hasn't been doing stand up that long. Like he just he was just already famous and had famous comedian friends. That's kind of what got him the exposure in the comedy scene for the most part.
I guess that's what I'm worried about doing in the Bay Area scene if I come out with this open mic clip from Alameda and calling it a special, and I'm just gonna be known as that fucking delusional guy.
Hey man, like you said, you wanted that. You could do it.
I guess.
You can also just post it as a normal clip. You don't even have to post the whole thing. You can just take out the best part.
Nah.
Sometimes I like doing that. Sometimes I don't like to post a whole set. Like it would just be like a 30-second snippet.
It's gonna be my 5-minute and 33-second special.
Damn, dude, you went 33 seconds over the light.
Yeah, I think I kind of mentioned it towards the end. Like the light came up, and I was like, guys, the light, for those of you who don't know, you get an extra 45 minutes. It means you're killing it. You're doing great. Yeah. So strap in. And then like the light started kind of flashing, and I was like trying to finish up the last joke. And when the light was flashing, like this fucking light's distracting me. So
that was one of those mics too, where if you go over the time, like he'll just turn your mic off. Then you're up there looking stupid.
Or they'll play music. They'll play music. No, what was it? Yeah, I felt like the end. That was like the only thing. And then, like we said, a lot of white people there. I did like kind of a Spanish-y kind of joke, and I kind of knew it was gonna fail. And then it fell like flat a little bit more than it did. And like towards the end was the only time where I was like, could have been better, but whatever.
Yeah. Speaking of like Spanish-y jokes and white people. I have a joke about like how like my roommates are like racist, and it's because like the way they were going about like talking about adopting babies. And I remember that joke usually bombs only when it's like a room full of like white people. But because I have a part of it where I like basically call Mexicans lazy, except I'm not calling them lazy. The person in the story is calling them lazy. Sure. It's not me. It's the other guy. And the audience, if they're white, usually don't laugh. But normally the Mexicans love that joke, or at least laugh at it. Because I realize that like they're able to laugh at themselves, and I like that.
Wow. Dude,
you should be able to laugh at yourself. Because also, I don't think Mexicans are lazy. The person in the story does.
Well, you're white. What do you think of this? I feel like white people are kind of... They're the most sensitive to racism jokes, but I feel like it's because they have this pressure to not be racist because it just looks so much worse when a white person's racist.
Yeah, no, I think there are people like that, or like they have to like actively try to make themselves not look racist.
They want to be on the right side of history. Dude, because that reminded me, I did a fucking dog eating joke, and this white guy just yelled out, "That's racist," and I was like, not really. I'm Asian. Like, you should not be... Like, if anyone's going to be upset, it's fucking me or another Asian person. Like, I don't know.
No, I used to have a joke. I don't really tell it anymore because it never, like, did well enough for me to keep. Where it was, like, about when I used to work at Amazon and, like, at, like, an apartment complex, I'd have to walk away for a while and come back. And one time I came back and there was this lady standing outside my van. And she just looked at me and goes, "I know who's in there." And I was like, "What?" She's like, "I'm going to kill you and call cops." And then she just walked away. I remember a lady was like, "That's racist," because I guess she thought I was like doing a black accent. Wow. And I was like, "Ma'am, the lady in that story is white, so I don't know what we're talking about." I was like, I mean, I get it. Yeah, that's just how she sounded. I was imitating her. Yeah. But that lady immediately was like, "Oh, you did a black accent." I'm like, "Nah, dude, I was just doing that cracked out lady at an apartment complex."
Yeah. What do you... Oh, man.
Yeah, that was a bad joke, though. It never really landed. I think it didn't make sense. That wasn't, like, the whole thing. But, like, I think there was part of it where like I didn't add enough context to it, and it just didn't make sense at the end. So I was like, whatever, dude. Because sometimes adding too much context, you're like, this joke sucks.
Yeah, it's kind of you have a. I mean, especially nowadays, everybody's attention span shot. It's kind of. I don't know. Is it? Because I feel like for years I've been saying we have bad attention spans, but is it a bad attention span, or is it more of we're just filtering out bullshit?
I think it depends on who you're watching or listening to. You could have a bad attention span and still kind of be focused or interested on someone who's able to, like, I don't know, I guess keep that interest. I don't know how to, like, exactly say this correctly, but I do know, like, for me, I do have a bad attention span, but there's also a lot of stuff I'll watch, like, I'll watch an hour of a thing, and it just, that one thing happened to keep my attention span, like maybe it's a stand-up special. It's like, that's not a TikTok. I'm not watching a TikTok. I'm watching an hour-long stand-up special. So I think it just depends on who you're watching. Like, some people, maybe you're not, like, funny enough to, like, keep someone's attention that long. Yeah. That's possible. And that's that, or you are funny enough to keep their attention that long. That's why, like, I've heard a lot of people talk about, like, how many laughs per minute do you get within your set, which is, like, that is important to think about, like, if you're getting, say, 6 laughs per minute, like, that's a laugh every 10 seconds. That's really good. And so, like, people like that, maybe they're able to keep the attention of people with bad attention spans, but if you're getting, say, 2 to 3 laughs in a minute, maybe they didn't even make it to that second or third laugh because it was so spaced out,
Right. I feel like
I'm just spitting bullshit. Sometimes I just kind of start talking.
I get it. No, I feel like sometimes LPMs, laugh per minute. Sometimes I just feel like I'll be hollering at something, though, and then even though I'm having the time of my life, I'll just be like, oh, shit, yeah, I do need to check my email. And then just like...
I
have this thing that I've been saying lately. Like The Joker was one of the last movies that I watched recently that I didn't fall asleep to. And every time I watch a movie, I'll be like, yeah, that movie was pretty good until I fell asleep. So it's like I'll pay attention to something long enough, but like even if I'm focused on it, I still might fall asleep. I get too relaxed. Oh shit. The call fucking ended. Let me call him again. What the fuck was that?
Hello?
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Just said call in.
Dude, I was just talking. I didn't even know it hung up, dude. What was I saying?
I just ended with saying, like, I fall asleep watching movies, and I think you're trying to agree on that or something.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, shit. Yeah, I was saying something like, like, for me, so, like how you're saying, like, you'll just fall asleep, even though you were invested in the thing, you fall asleep. Like, for me, I deal with a lot of, like, just disassociating. Yeah. Like, I'll be mid-conversation with someone, and then out of nowhere, like, I'll realize I haven't paid attention for the last 30 seconds, and it's not on that person. Yeah. It's not. I legit, like, half of the time that I'm awake, I'm just, like, my brain is going, like, 50 different places. I'm thinking about something that stressed me out, or I'm thinking about something I need to do later, something I did this morning.
Do you do that, like, driving?
Yeah, dude. Like,
I don't want to ride from
if I get a 3-hour drive, dude, I will be present for like an hour of that. Like, I'll just be here for the like 2 hours. I'm just stuck in my head thinking about other shit. So like, yeah, it's like sometimes like attention span, you could have a good one, but also you could just be, other shit's on your mind. So then you just space out. You can't pay attention, or maybe that's why we do have those or those like shorter clips, which make it seem like we have bad attention spans. Because it's like, yeah, I could pay attention for this 15 seconds, but that's just because I have so much shit on my mind right now that I'm not going to be able to focus on a movie. I'm not going to be able to focus on a special or a book. I just need something quick to look at constantly.
Do you, have you ever been in a car accident?
No. I mean, someone's like I've been in like fender benders, but nothing serious. Like I haven't had to go through insurance for anything. Like one time me and this dude backed into each other. We both got out. Like, we were both backing out of parking spots at the same time. And then, like, we both got out. We looked at each other's cars. We're like, I don't see any damage. He's like, yeah, me neither. And we shook hands and left. Like, that was the extent of that accident.
I have done that. Yeah.
And thank God, dude, because, some people, like, that would have sucked if I ran into someone who was, like, say, like, a car guy. you know, like really short-tempered and just like his car's his baby.
Yeah,
like then I would have been like, fuck, dude, like I got to deal with bullshit.
Or something like an old white lady that's like, my fucking neck.
Yeah. Or just like someone who just like likes to squeeze every inch out of someone. You know, like someone, if you give him an inch, he'll take a mile. So it's like if you fender bend some guy, he'll just fucking try to get you to pay for his stereo that broke a year ago. Like, it stopped working as soon as he hit me, dude. I don't know what to tell you. He's got to pay for that.
I don't know, man. I just had a child out of nowhere because he hit my fucking fender, dude. So you got to pay for this. The fucking call dropped. That I don't know what happened. I told a joke.
Dude, I
told a joke, and the call ended, and I thought it just wasn't funny. It probably wasn't funny, but I said
yeah, dude.
I said oh yeah, just because you hit. I'm not even gonna repeat it. Never mind. I'm embarrassed. I'm gonna. I'm running on fumes here. My laptop's on 12%. I guess I'll give you two options. You can hear the joke that I was telling you about earlier, or you can think of the ball is in your court and you can think of anything else you want to talk about, or we can do both. I don't give a shit.
I say we do a little bit of both.
All right, fuck it. Do you have anything? Well, you can go first. Do you have anything that you want to, before you forget it, or just in case, or do you want it time?
I guess I kind of started doing a thing last week that I'm hoping I could get like more views on. So I guess more of like, yeah. So I started doing like a little vlog because outside of comedy, I sell beer for Epidemic Ales. I'm a sales rep for them. So I started doing a little vlog called a day in a life of a guy that sells beer, but I'm going to change the name actually to just Epidemic Sales because fuck it.
That's a good
one.
That
just sounds better. Yeah.
I was going to ask like, how is that? Like, well, how is sales and beers? But I guess you're just going to have to tune in and find out on the blog. So that's a perfect way to
I like
segue to that.
it. I get to basically like, 'cause now I cover 5 different counties. So I'm all over the fucking place, but I get to go out and like, see a lot of cool places, you know, a lot of like bars and restaurants that I otherwise would have never even known about. Like, and that's kind of what I'm doing with the vlog thing is where I'm kind of like, in a way, I'm trying to market Epidemic Ales to get more people to buy the beer that I'm selling. But I'm doing that by like highlighting certain accounts or spotlighting certain accounts that I either sell to or accounts that I'm trying to get in. So that way, hopefully if the videos get around enough, people will see the videos and be like, hey, like, can I get your beer into my bar? Like, what do I got to do for that? Then I could sell that shit into there. And I've already had people messaging me. I've only released like 3 videos. I've already had people messaging me. Granted, they were friends, just asking where they could find the beer at. Hopefully, I could get it to where strangers are asking me that. Like, hey, where can I find your beer at? And then I'm also trying to get that whole thing because I do put some comedic shit into it, which really it's just me fucking around throughout the day. It's what I would do without a camera, you know? So It's like, I'm just kind of like recording small, like literally 15-second, like little fragments of my day throughout the day. And I'm just doing that and hoping that, you know, they're funny enough to where people, you know, if they start following me for those videos too, then when I do post stand-up clips, it's like I now have viewers on that, if that makes sense. So it's marketing for both my day job and my and stand-up.
Do you think you can work a way to get Epidemic Ales to be a sponsor of the podcast? It's if they use like a fucking code or something, they get 0.2% off or whatever, and whatever money you could keep it or whatever. I don't even know.
I mean, it's possible. That's something I would just have to bring up to our owners.
All right.
I would imagine it depends on if they're open to it, I guess.
Yeah, I had a sponsor before, and they got it seemed like a scam, and so I think the last episode I was talking about. I feel like a white belt with no stripes or I got my stripe taken away because I don't have a sponsor anymore. And maybe Epidemic Ales could be the next stripe on my belt.
That'd be sick, dude. Yeah, no, I'm trying to like, I mean, cause I get paid mostly off commission. So it's like, I'm trying to get as much beer sold out there as possible. Like anything to get the name out there so people want to buy it. Like, what is it? Whiskey Tango Foxtrot out in Oakley.
maybe. I don't know.
I don't
really
restaurant
drink
out there, and Pat McCoy puts on shows there.
Pat McCoy.
He booked me for like the October 12th show. And so I went in there last week and talked to the owner. Now I'm doing like a pint night with all my beer in there that night. So it's like I'm meshing them, dude. So now it's like, hey, people get to come see me do stand-up, and they get to drink the beer I fucking sold into this place.
Your work is your work.
Yeah, it's kind of and there's overlap with it because I mean I go into just bars, restaurants. You know, I could sell to comedy clubs. You know, so it's like there's overlap with all of it. I'm talking to people. It's all marketing, networking for me. So it's cool. I like it.
The packaging in the containers for the beer looks pretty good. I've never tried it though, but I'm.
You never tried the beer? Do you drink or?
I don't really drink. That's why. But like when I do see like the pictures and stuff of the drinks, I'm kind of like, that looks yummy. I mean, maybe one day I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, honestly, a lot of the places like liquor stores that buy them, they buy it because of the artwork, that's kind of, I guess, the novelty of craft beer is they all have, like most breweries have like really cool artwork on their cans. And that is like the selling point. Like Budweiser doesn't have fucking cool artwork.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Modelo's, it's like, those are all like basic little like fucking, it's just like the name with like a blank background for the most part. You know, sometimes they'll put a trans person on it, but like, that's just how it works, you know? But like, I think the craft beer artwork definitely sells. And like all of ours for the most part are like apocalypse themed.
Yeah, like zombies and shit.
Yeah, so like, especially right now, Halloween's coming around. Apocalypse themed beer has been, you know, it sells well, I think, you know?
Yeah.
Like our Zombrew IPA, that's easy to get into places because it has a zombie just standing there, like the silhouette of it, and it's all menacing and sick, you know?
All right. They should have a devil design. They should have like a devil beer or something.
I'm sure we'll have one soon. We have one coming out next month called Sunny with a Chance of Chainsaws, and it has a skeleton on the front wearing like the Jason Voorhees mask, and there's machetes like raining out of the sky. It's really cool. Oh, and then the sun in the background also has a hockey mask on.
Nice.
Yeah. It's our Friday the 13th beer.
We have done an hour and 1 minute.
Oh, damn.
So,
tell me your joke.
All right, here it is. So this is a true story. It was a true story all the way up until the end. Yes, I used to worship the devil. When I was in middle school, I got bullied a lot, so I felt like if I let everybody know in school that I worship the devil, maybe it would freak all the other kids out and they'd leave me alone. So what I did to let everybody know that I worship the devil is that I painted a giant pentagram on my backpack. But little did I know, it wasn't a pentagram that I drew. It was actually the Star of David. And so, yeah, that backfired. Everybody beat the shit out of me for being a fucking Jew. And so, yeah, that's a true story, except for the beating me up for being a Jew. But I just remember, I was thinking about it today. Like, I wish I still had that fucking backpack, dude. And it's like just a giant fucking, in whiteout. I painted it in whiteout, a giant Star of David. And I'm Filipino, you know, so it's very off-putting. Yeah. And this other kid just comes up to me, he's like, this other Filipino kid, he's just like, hey, bro, are you Jewish? And I'm like,
yeah.
And I look at him with this concerned face because I have no idea. I've got the Star of David on I thought it was the pentagram. And I was just like, no. I looked at him all confused and shit. And he just like, I think about that sometimes. Like, I wonder how confused that kid was.
Yeah. No, can I give you like a possible tagline to it?
Sure.
It might be a little bit on the nose and also really bad. But when you put it on your backpack, is they start to think that you're Jewish, so you just start getting roasted because of it.
Oh shit! I never thought of that.
It's a little on the nose, and it also it might not go well.
So I never said this, like, so I later did find out, because I think this was the 6th grade when I did this, and that's when I found out, like, oh, that's not the pentagram, it's not what I wanted. And so the next year I graduated, then I actually got a real pentagram, like I painted in white out a real pentagram on my backpack,
And I just I think it was 7th and 8th grade, and I remember I had a Jewish science teacher, and I remember I was a little shithead, dude. I remember I drew swastikas on the back of my hands, and I just wanted to know if he would fucking notice in class or if he'd say something, and he didn't say shit. And
no, he saw it. He was just like, "This kid's pretty cool." This kid's badass.
If you look at my yearbook, there's nothing but swastikas but I didn't make it. Other kids would sign my yearbook in swastikas, and I remember the kid who did was a fucking German actually. And I remember getting picked up from school one day, and my dad saw the swastikas on my hand, and he's just like, "What is that? You German?" And that's it. It just, I don't know. I had a fascination with World War II when I was in the 6th grade, but you don't cover World War II until the 8th grade. So
you grew out of it by the time you learned about it.
Kinda. But
that was so 2 years ago.
In the 6th grade, we were learning Greek mythology and shit. And so my teacher wanted us to write some kind of project on Greek mythology. And this is just how bad my fucking attention to detail or whatever. I wrote a paper about World War II. And I just fucking I played Big Red 1 Call of Duty, so I would
oh, I remember that one, dude.
They had the missions, they'd be 1,800 hours or whatever. So
that was the second Call of Duty, wasn't it?
I believe so, yeah.
I remember that one, yeah.
Yeah, I was just obsessed with that, and I wasn't paying attention in school, so I just filled out my history homework with I remember the title, I put 1,800 hours, just
Mm-hmm.
making shit up, thinking that I'd get away with it, and then I failed.
Sick. Yeah. Dude, that'd be wild. If because I got a 10-year-old or 9-year-old nephew. I should probably know his age, but I'm bad at being an uncle. But if he was invested in World War II right now, I'd be like, bro, you can't go around saying that.
Yeah, I didn't have
we're
no
German.
big...
You can't be invested in World War II right now unless you're only reading the
Uncle
American
Jordan,
side.
do you know what a swastika is?
Yeah. Have you seen the artwork of this famous artist named as Adolf Hitler?
Oh,
it's
man.
really good.
Let me run this by you, actually. But here's another one. This is a potential joke, but I've told some people, and I've gotten kind of flat responses from it, but I'm curious. So how do I start it? It's kind of on the subject of cancel culture, how I don't think cancel culture is a real thing. Now hear me out. For example, the Jews, literally killed Jesus, but now they're protected and shit. Oh, you can't make fun of them. And think about the guy who tried to physically cancel the Jews. Now they tried to cancel that guy, but I haven't even said his name. But I'm talking about Hitler. And it's they didn't cancel. Everybody knows who the fuck Hitler is, and he did some horrible ass shit. So that's just my point on how I don't think cancel culture is a real thing. I don't know. Something along those lines. It's just my thought process on that. But I feel it could be a joke.
He ended up having to cancel himself.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man. That's all I had. That's all I had for that one.
Cancel himself.
Just a quick suicide joke.
I do forget he killed himself, though.
Yeah, him and his wife. What was her name? Ava Braun? I don't think that's it. Is it Ava Braun? I'm going to Google it, dude. If it's Ava Braun, I'm a fucking genius.
No, you're just German.
If it's not Ava Braun, dude, I didn't say anything.
You're just German. You learned it in church or something. You've got a picture of her in your fucking hallway, dude. I know it.
Damn, dude, I was right. Ava Anna Paula Hitler, originally known as Ava Braun, was a German photographer who was a longtime companion and briefly the wife of Adolf Hitler. Yeah, they both killed themselves at the same time.
Kind of concerning, her full name like that. What do you think about the Jews?
That was Google. That was Google that told me the full name. I was reading.
But you knew it before. You knew her nickname. You knew her street name.
The thing is, I think last week I was having a conversation about Hitler with someone, and I do think she got brought up, and I asked what was her name, and they answered it. So let's put on that guy.
Is it in Sacramento?
I think it was Nick Michelson and Gabe Alexander. Let's just call them Hitler apologists. If ever anyone who's listening, go on their Instagram, follow them, and then just call them Adolf Hitler apologists in their comments.
I'm on it. All right,
Fuck
Mr.
yeah,
Jordan.
Dude. Don't tell them I sent you there. Just do it.
Yeah. Oh man, there's this. Oh, I gotta save it for next time, dude. It's just a run-on lie like how that is. But Mr. Jordan Kirchner, it's an honor to have you on. I hope to see you in person sooner or later, whenever. When's the next Epidemic Ales open mic? Is that next week?
It might be. I don't know. I don't run like the open mics for the shows there. I know that's all like Dave Coker.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I just let you keep track, or
it might be next week. It might not be. If it's next week, I don't think I'm gonna be there. I gotta be at a wedding this weekend.
Oh shit! Thank you for your service.
Yeah, dude, it's gonna be sick, dude. I gotta buy a new suit. I don't even know if I have the money for it, but I'm gonna buy it.
Just steal it, dude. I went to Men's Warehouse for the first time since high school a couple months ago this year. Bought me a dress shirt. That's it. But all right, man. I'll catch up with you later, man. I'll tap in. And so it's an honor to have you on.
Yeah, dude. Thanks for having me here. Thanks for having me on the call.
Fuck yeah, dude. All right. I'll see you later.
Sick, dude. You have a good one.
You too, man.
Bye.